Yes.
And that is why my hair is spiked up to one side, but we don't talk about it because of the lawyers. So this is Wednesday, November 28th. My advanced class, we're going to get into talking about outsiders and why you should do homework on the left-hand side. Wow, I am just swinging everywhere today. Book report is due in 3 weeks. We're going to have book report work time tomorrow, so make sure you bring something to work on. I'll have to yell at you then. I am going to be taking caps for B points, like little screw-on plastic caps, either for Gatorade or for milk. I believe I can take water caps. I have to verify that today. But every 5 caps will get you a point, and it goes all the way until the week that the book report comes due, which is roughly 4 weeks from now. We call that taunting you. And then once again, I apologize. I've not emailed your parents yet about the whole poetry test retakes. I'll be getting to it soon. So it's bought you some extra time to get that fixed. But it should be Friday the 7th, not the 8th. I had the wrong date up there before you guys try and attack me. And it's a photo, because I took a screenshot of my website, so I can't fix it, so you'll just have to deal with it. But that's up to you if you want to do those. And then e-version, if you want to run at home, so we're going to go there. Then your highlighty connections, that's what we're going to get into today, is giving you a chance to make your highlight connections. I'll tell you as I do my highlighty connections, and then we'll stop on occasion and give you a chance to do your highlighty connections. And then let's see, we'll read today, and we'll read again on Friday. And we did talk about this guy yesterday. We're going to mention him at the very beginning. And why do you know him?
Cars 2.
Not Cars 2.
Marinara.
Cars 1, there you go. And then also, for those of you who like saucy things,
Sausage.
which apparently is many of you. Sharple?
How about you make connections with people in the class so it's more relatable and you know what you're talking
Well, it
about?
depends on which ones they are. Some of them don't connect to people in class.
Well, you should try because you're smart enough.
When I stepped out and saw the sassy child and kept lipping me, I highlighted that one and put down Lily.
That's me!
You're welcome. So chapter 1. Since I only got halfway through that first paragraph before that evil bell rang.
It is when you're talking about his eyeballs.
We'll back up to the beginning of the chapter. Left-hand side, just do like this with your hands. You'll figure out what's up here.
Do you want me to do this or do the reading?
I have faith in you being able to listen to me while you write that down, because I have a very melodic voice. All right. Chapter 1. When I stepped out into the bright sunlight from the bunch of haters, from the darkness of the movie house, I had only 2 things on my mind: Paul Newman and a ride home. I was wishing I looked like Paul Newman. He looks tough, and I don't. But I guess my own looks aren't so bad. I have light brown, almost red hair and greenish gray eyes. I wish they were more gray, because I hate most guys that have green eyes. But I have to be content with what I have. My hair's longer than a lot of boys wear theirs, squared off in back and long at the front and sides, but I'm a greaser, and most of my neighborhood rarely bothers to get a haircut. Besides, I look better with long hair. One, I highlighted the part that says he looks tough and I don't. I highlighted that and put me in junior high because I looked like a walking stick of spaghetti. It was very impressive. That was a project. All right. I had a long walk home and no company, but I usually loaned it anyway for no reason except that I like to watch movies undisturbed so that I can get into them with the actors. When I see a movie with someone, it's kind of uncomfortable. Like having someone read your book over your shoulder. I'm different that way. I mean, my second oldest brother, Soda, who's 16 going on 17, he never cracks a book at all. And my oldest brother, Daryl, who we call Derry, works too long and hard to be interested in a story or drawing a picture, so I'm not like them. And nobody in our gang digs movies and books the way I do. For a while there, I thought I was the only person in the world that did, so I loaned it. One quick interruption. I highlighted the part that talks about the not liking to read books. That was my best friend, who's now my best friend teaching, Mr. Brown at HSC Junior High. He refused to read books all the way through college. His excuse was, if a book is good enough to read, they'll turn it into a movie, and I'll watch the movie. So he never read a book the entire time. Yeah, he's a horrible person. He also teaches science.
He must have
He chose a career. He was like, I teach science. I don't have to read books because they don't believe in words. I'm like, science teachers. Soda tries to understand at least, which is more than Derry does. But then, Soda's different from everybody. He understands everything almost. Like, he's never hollering at me all the time the way Derry is, or treating me as if I was 6 instead of 14. And I love Soda more than I've ever loved anyone, even Mom and Dad. He's always happy-go-lucky and grinning, while Derry's hard and firm and rarely grins at all. But then, Derry's gone through a lot in his 20 years. He's grown up too fast. Soda Pop will never grow up at all. I don't know which way's the best. I'll find out one of these days. Anyway, I went on walking home, thinking about the movie, and suddenly wishing I had some company. Greasers can't walk alone too much, or they'll get jumped, or someone will come by and scream, "Greaser!" at them, which doesn't make you feel too hot, if you know what I mean. We get jumped by the Socials. I'm not sure how you spell it. It's the abbreviation for the Socials, the Jet Set, the West Side Rich Kids. It's like the term greaser, which is used to class all us boys on the East Side. We're poorer than the Socials and the middle class. I reckon we're wilder, too. Not like the Socials who jump greasers and wreck houses and throw beer blasts for kicks and get editorials in the paper for being a public disgrace one day and an asset to society the next. Greasers are almost like hoods. We steal things and drive old souped-up cars and hold up gas stations and have a gang fight once in a while. All right, I don't mean I do things like that. Derry would kill me if I got into trouble with the police. I mean, since Mom and Dad were killed in an auto wreck, the three of us get to stay together only as long as we behave. So, Soda and I stay out of trouble as much as we can, and we're careful not to get caught when we can't. Now, I only mean that most greasers do things like that. Just like we wear our hair long and dress in blue jeans and t-shirts, or leave our shirt tails out and wear leather jackets and tennis shoes or boots. I'm not saying that either Socias or greasers are better. It's just the way things are. A quick pause of a couple things. As we get in, have they said the main character's name yet?
No.
Because what point of view is our story told in?
His
First person.
Nice, so it's being told in first person overall. They did mention his brothers. We were kind of weird. So we're going to find out it's being told by Ponyboy, and then his brothers are Soda Pop and Derry. Those are their real names. They have some interesting family members. And they're going to be talking about their friends moving forward, Johnny, Two-Bit, Steve, and Dally. And I'll throw this back up there. So they call themselves the Curtis Gang, but they use the word gang like you guys use the word squad or something like that, where it just means like friends that hang out. It's not like they're going by like doing drive-bys and like you have to like wear colors. They just refer to themselves as gangs. It just means like my group of friends who hang out together all the time.
I get it.
So just to give you an idea that their definition of gang is a little different than our definition of gang. When they're talking about greasers, this is what the super kid they're talking about. If you've seen the old John Travolta movie Grease, with the grease lightning and stuff like that, with the black leather jackets, that's who Ponyboy and his friends are. His gang is that kind of person. The other one, what's the other group called?
The Socials.
Stands for?
Socials.
There you go. And so you have, and so I found pictures I could of the Socials. I even found a picture of the Social.
Is that you?
I wish, that man's adorable. And so it gives you ideas of what the Socials look like, so the two different groups that are going against each
Kind of
other.
looks like you if you were younger.
I've never been younger. I was born this age. And they're going to be talking about in a moment, they have this red Corvair that's going to be following him as he comes home. This is the type of car they're talking about that comes down and starts following him home.
Tyler,
Let's
you
see,
need to like.
is that everything that I highlighted?
Wait, so Socials are like the rich people that wear like scars around their
Yeah, you are correct.
And they wear sweaters on their shoulders.
Yeah.
And they tie it around their necks.
And then around their waists as well. They have two sweaters just to go over their shoulders and waists.
I could have waited to go to the movies until Derry or Soda Pop got off work, and they would have gone with me, or driven me there, or walked along. Although Soda just can't sit still long enough to enjoy a movie, and well, they bored Derry to death. Derry thinks his life is enough not inspecting other people's. Or I could have gotten one of the gang to come along. One of the four boys, Derry... Four boys, Derry and Soda and I have grown up with and considered family. We're almost as close as brothers. When you grow up in a tight-knit neighborhood like ours, you get to know each other real well. If I'd thought about it, I could have called Derry and he would have come by to pick me up on his way home and pick me up. Or Two-Bit Matthews, one of the gang, I'll put it back on that screen. Or Two-Bit Matthews, one of our gang, would have come to get me in his car if I'd asked him. But sometimes I just don't use my head. Gesundheit. It drives my brother Derry nuts when I do stuff like that, because I'm supposed to be smart. I make good grades, have a high IQ and everything, but I don't use my head. Besides, I like walking. That I highlighted and put myself, because I take my dog on walks twice a day. Ma, did you want to yell at me for something?
No, I was gonna ask to put that one.
Look at that, reading minds and stuff like that. I'd about decided I didn't like it so much, though, when I spotted that red Corvair trailing me.
That's sketchy.
I was almost 2 blocks from home then, so I started walking a little faster. I'd never been jumped, but I'd seen Johnny after 4 socias got hold of him, and it wasn't pretty. Johnny was scared of his own shadow after that, and Johnny was 16 then. And I knew it wasn't any use, though. The fast walking, I mean. Even before the Corvair pulled up beside me and 5 socias got out. I got pretty scared. I mean, I'm kind of small for 14. Even though I have a good build, those guys were bigger than me. I automatically hitched my thumbs in my jeans and then slouched, wondering if I could get away if I made a break for it. And I remember Johnny, his face all cut up and bruised, and I remembered how he had cried when we found him, half conscious in the corner lot. Johnny had it awful rough at home. It took a lot to make him cry. Real quick, that hitching my thumbs in my jeans is when you have your thumbs, you sort of like put them in the little pockets down like that, or in the little belt hoops, that whole lot, and he slouches the whole. That the teenager I'm in a mood kind of look. The world's awful. I hate everybody.
Oh.
They're like, oh, that's every day for me. So I figured you'd be able to relate. I was sweating something fierce. Although I was cold, I could feel my palms getting clammy and the perspiration running down my back. Now, I get like that when I'm real scared. I glanced around for a pop bottle or a stick or something. Steve Randall, Soda's best buddy, he once held off 4 guys with a busted pop bottle. But there was nothing. So I just stood there like a bump on a log while they surrounded me. I don't use my head. They walked around slowly, silently, smiling. Real quick, the busted pop bottle, I don't mean the plastic ones that you guys drink
Like
now.
the glass ones.
They used to have the glass ones. When you smash it, it then has jagged edges, and when you have a fool, you can just give a couple of quick stabs, and it solves that problem for you. So like, you use a plastic one, like, gadonk, 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 and they just like laugh at you and stab you with their knife. So
I have.
the glass ones.
This would hurt.
That would probably hurt a bit more. Good job, dude. Slowly, silently, smiling. Hey, Grease? One said in an over-friendly voice. We're going to do you a favor, Greaser. We're going to cut all that long, greasy hair off.
Why are you talking like
He
that?
had on a Madras shirt. I can still see it. Blue Madras. Madras. There's Madras. That's what the
Ew.
design looks like. It was real popular again like 5 or 6 years ago. Hollister came out with a line that was like all Madras, and so kids were wearing it. We were talking about this, and kids were like, you're a Soch! And they'd like be ratting each other out. But now it's phased back out, so you don't have to worry about being Soched again. One of them laughed and then cussed me out in a low voice. I couldn't think of anything to say. I mean, well, there just isn't a whole lot you can say while waiting to get mugged, so I kept my mouth shut. You need a haircut, Greaser? The medium-sized blonde pulled a knife out of her back pocket, flipped the blade open.
That's bad.
I finally thought of something to say. No. I was backing up, away from that knife. Of course, I backed right into one of them. They had me down in a second. They had my arms and legs pinned down. And one of them was sitting on my chest with his knees on my elbows. And if you don't think that hurts, you're crazy. I could smell English leather shaving lotion and stale tobacco. Now I wondered foolishly if I would suffocate before they did anything. I was scared so bad. I was wishing I would. I fought to get loose and almost did for a second. And then they tightened up on me, and the one on my chest slugged me a couple times. So I lay still, swearing at them between gasps. A blade was held against my throat.
Oh.
How'd you like that haircut to begin just below the chin? It occurred to me then, they could kill me. I went wild. I started screaming for soda, dairy, anyone. Someone put his hand over my mouth, and I bit it as hard as I could, tasting blood running through my teeth.
That's
I heard a muttered curse and got slugged again. And they were stuffing a handkerchief in my mouth. One of them kept saying, shut him up for Pete's sake, shut him up. Well, then there were shouts and the pounding of feet, and the socias jumped up and left me lying there, gasping. I lay there and wondered what in the world was happening. People were jumping over me and running by me, and I was too dazed to figure it out. And then someone had me under the armpits and was hauling me to my feet. It was Derry. You all right, pony boy? He was shaking, and I wished he'd stop. I was dizzy enough anyway, and I could tell it was Derry, though, partly because of the voice, and partly because Derry's always rough without meaning to be. I'm okay. Quit shaking me, Derry. I'm okay. He stopped instantly. I'm sorry. He wasn't really. Derry isn't ever sorry for anything he does. I mean, it seems funny to me that he should look just exactly like my father and act exactly the opposite from him. My father was only 40 when he died, and he looked 25. And a lot of people thought Derry and Dad were brothers instead of father and son. But they only looked alike. My father was never rough with anyone without meaning to be. Before I get into the part about Derry, I've got to grab one more thing out over here. When the socialists came up and were offering to give him a haircut, because socialists are friendly people, he said that he could smell two things. What were the two things?
Shaving lotion and tobacco.
English leather, shaving lotion, and then stale tobacco. The bad news is I don't smoke, so I don't have any tobacco for you to smell. You'll just have to go to your local bar, then use your imagination. But I did go out and get the English leather shaving cream. Basically, it's a type of cologne, and so I'm going to give you a chance to smell it, so you have an idea of what it smells like.
Suffocation. Ew.
Suffocation.
No, I have little cotton balls I put it on.
I think you need some new cotton.
This was worn by dudes at the time to attract the lady people. So I understand completely, dudes, if you smell this and you're like, Mr. Broviac, I want some. Let me know. We can hook you up. Let the ladies go wild.
No way.
It's the least I can do to help you. Put that on there. I'm going to come around. For those of you who are playing the home game, it looks like this. Wait, wrong side. Looks like this. I have little things in there. If you lean close to your monitor and smell, I'll hold it up. There you go. It smells like that. Whoa, I know.
How much would it be someone actually smelled their
Stick your
body?
nose in there. Now imagine this and cigarettes is all he's smelling
I smell it.
as they're offering to cut his hair.
Ew, it smells like baby powder. I would not see attractive.
Smells like a haircut.
Baby powder.
I've heard it smells like grandpa's, and I've heard it smells like barbershops.
Yes.
Both are because barbershops oftentimes still use this. And many of you, your grandpa was probably alive during this time. This is your grandpa's version of Axe.
My grandpa actually
Someday your grandkids will be reading books like, what's this Axe body spray they keep talking about?
What is Axe?
You don't know what Axe is?
Walk around.
Yeah, and then I take an Axe body spray and do the Axe bomb. You wouldn't like it.
With body
At the end, you haven't seen me.
It smells like a haircut.
Once again, drove the ladies wild.
Wow. I'm crazy.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Shut.
Now, back to our story. There we go. Derry is 6'2" and broad-shouldered and muscular. He was dark brown hair that kicks out in front and has a slight cowlick in the back. Cowlick is when like you have hair that just won't come, kind of like comb around. It comes from the idea of if a cow were to lick you, like a super sticky tongue, like you can't get it. My hair this morning was very similar to a cowlick, where no matter how much I tried to put it down, it just kept going and sticking straight up. I wish I could tell you I planned it because I'm a genius, but my hair just had a mind of its own. So that's what he has, that same idea. His hair just does a thing. Let's see. Cowlick kicks out from him. Just like Dad's, but Derry's eyes are his own. He's got eyes that are like two pieces of pale blue-green ice. They've got a determined set to them, like the rest of them. He looks older than 20. Tough, cool, smart. He'd be real handsome if his eyes weren't so cold. He doesn't understand anything that's not plain hard fact. But he uses his head. And I sat down again, rubbing my cheeks where I'd been slugged the most. Derry jammed his fists in his pockets. They didn't hurt you too bad, did they? They did. I was smarting and aching, and my chest was sore. And I was so nervous. My hands were shaking. And I wanted to start bawling, but you just don't say that to Derry. You guys know what bawling is?
Crying.
Not like, bawling. Oh, it's a different kind of bawling. I'm okay. Soda Pop came loping back, and by then I'd figured that all the noise I'd heard was the gang coming to rescue me. He dropped down beside me, examining my head. You got caught up a little. Sorry. You got cut up a little, huh, Pony Boy? I looked at him blankly. I did? He pulled out a handkerchief, wet the end of it with his tongue, and pressed it gently against the side of my head. You're bleeding like a stuck pig. I am? Look. He showed me the handkerchief, reddened as if by magic. Did they pull a blade on you? I remembered that voice. You need a haircut, greaser? The blade must have slipped while he was trying to shut me up. Yeah. Soda, he's handsomer than anyone else I know. Not like Derry. Soda's like movie star kind of handsome. I mean, he's the kind that people stop on the street to watch go by. He's not as tall as Derry. He's a little slimmer, but he has a finely drawn, sensitive face that somehow manages to be reckless and thoughtful at the same time. He's got dark gold hair that he combs back, long, silky, straight, in the summer, and that bleaches it to a shining wheat gold. His eyes are dark brown, lively, dancing, recklessly laughing eyes that can be gentle and sympathetic one moment and blazing with anger the next. He has Dad's eyes, but so does one of a kind. He'd get drunk in a drag race or dancing without ever getting near alcohol. In our neighborhood, it's rare to find a kid who doesn't drink once in a while, but Soda never touches a drop. He doesn't need to. He gets drunk on just plain living, and he understands everybody. Real quick, do you understand what they're saying about Soda Pop when they say that he doesn't drink but he gets drunk?
Yeah.
The idea that he's that
Getting
person.
high on life.
Yeah, that just seems to always enjoy himself. And it's just always smiling and having a good time. Anytime there's a dance or a party, he's up there dancing like, that guy's drunk. He's like, nope, I just enjoy myself. Like, people do that? That's how he is, where he just sort of just enjoys everything. He's that friendly, outgoing person. I'm assuming you all highlighted that part and then just wrote my name out to the side. It's okay. I don't take it personally.
I'll do that right now.
I wrote not keyboard.
Wow, it hurts. He looked at me more closely. I looked away hurriedly, because if you want to know the truth, I was starting to bawl. I knew I was as white as I felt, and I was shaking like a leaf. Soda just stopped reading right there.
Look, Mark, please.
Your homework again? Not to read. We're going to finish chapter 1 and get into chapter 2 on Friday.
Get out of me.